Alrighty, good morning, good evening, and good afternoon, and welcome back everybody to probably the final part of our solo character challenge run with the Hunter. I have yet to figure out two things: how to exactly deal with the final boss, and how to deal with Necrophobia just before it. So that will be a bit of an adventure. Before that, oh Maddie, thank you! Thank you so much for 26 ROMs of support. Welcome back to you. And well, I'm glad you enjoy your stay. How many different ways have you beaten this game? I've done like 10 4-drop Fiesta runs, and this is the 11th solo character challenge run. I've actually never really done a casual playthrough of this game, where... Well, I guess I have done a casual-ish playthrough of this game, where... I had access to all jobs, but I was also never allowed to run away and done some bonus dungeons. Evening saved, I see. Welcome. I hope you're doing well. Either way, let's get to this guy here. This is Catastrophe. Catastrophe only has about 20,000 HP, but the big problem about him is that he loves to use abilities that deal a ton of damage with Quake, or for that matter, has a pretty high likelihood of using petrification moves, which is an instant death, since I have no defense against the petrification. Unless I get lucky and resist it. Wait, I might have the bone mail equipped. And I think the bone... Wait, no, the bone mail does not grant me petrification immunity. That's a thing I thought it did, but it doesn't actually. So I just got lucky. What equipment do I have anyways? Yeah, I just got lucky. I got lucky that we did not get killed by petrification, and I guess we can just move on then. So he was kind of one of the bigger problems coming up, although there will be a bit of a weird one. I'm not entirely sure how to deal with, type or deal with a certain thing called Tritanya. We'll see. You're just amazed at how deep this game is in your different runs. I really like how this game allows you to just pick and choose how you want to approach things. You can brute force a lot of things, you can be clever about a lot of things. The only really downside is, casually you will never really understand the importance of status effects unless you just know a boss or an enemy is vulnerable to it, or you coincidentally figure it out due to random effects. Because there's so many status effects where it's like, oh, it didn't work, so I guess he's immune to it, but it's more like you just got unlucky and didn't hit it, or the boss might have a pretty high resilience to stuff. So yeah. Generally speaking, it's pretty awesome. So this is Halicarnasso. Halicarnasso usually turns us into a frog in the first turn, and then changes our row positioning in the second turn. Either way, we seem to be able to go twice before Halicarnasso goes. As like... Halicarnasso is a crazy high level, something like 97 I believe. So if you try to hit something that has a chance to hit, your chance is significantly reduced unless you're ridiculously over-leveled. And I believe Halicarnasso has like 20,000, 30,000 HP. Either way, we should be able to defeat him before anything bad happens. Also, it's 33,333 HP. Alright, I just pulled up my notes here. You can blind and mute Halicarnasso, which we both have access to those tools, but really, just killing Halicarnasso is more efficient overall, so there's that. And next is Tritanya, and I'm really not sure how I want to deal with Tritanya yet, so give me a second to think about this. And Grace to you, Newster. Welcome, how are you doing? So this could be a problem if I can't run away, because those Deathclaw enemies like to use their ability called Deathclaw, which paralyzes and puts us into critical HP. Now the thing is, we can't get paralyzed thanks to the running shoes, but critical HP will still apply, and that would be really bad since they approximately go at the same time. If just one uses the Death Claw and then another one uses a physical attack, we're instantly dead without being able to do anything in between. You're doing great, that's all nice. My day is quite fine as well, thank you. So, Tritanya, the upcoming boss, has 50,000 HP, which that's a lot of HP, let me tell you. And even though we deal really good damage, there's a problem with attacking Tritanya, and that is Tritanya really likes to counterattack with Tidal Wave, I believe, when you attack physically. So that might be a bit of a problem. The only alternative on how to deal with Tritanya is using instant death moves while it's charging up for Giga Flare. And Giga Flare is kind of a problem because it deals about 3000 damage. We do not have that much HP. So we have to kill Tritanya before Giga Flare. Now there's always the option of just waiting and hoping for a Assassin Dagger proc, which is a 1 in 4 chance of proccing. So I could just try and rely on that, I guess. Alternatively, I could use the Killer Bow instead, which, to be fair, kind of works too, since I can use it via X-Fight. I think Killer Bow actually might have a higher likelihood of working, considering we calculated it via slightly above a 28% chance of working, and Assassin Dagger is just a 25% chance to proc the thing, and then it still has to hit. What is the proc on the Assassin's Dagger? The Assassin's Dagger will proc the spell Doom, which is a black magic spell that is instant death. And Tritanya is actually not vulnerable to instant death in its base form, but the way this fight works is Tritanya effectively has like 6 or so turns, and then it will switch silently without actually telling the player to a different form. And that different form I'm gonna go in back row. That different form is really low level and weak to almost every status effect you can imagine. So what you want to do in a lot of cases is you just want to wait until you can use your instant death move. If you have petrification, that works. If you have instant death, that works too. And virtually every character has access to instant death one way or another, at least through the Assassin Dagger. The only exception, I believe, is the White Mage. That does not have access to instant death in any capacity. But the White Mage has Holy, and Tritanya is weak against Holy Element. Oh, there we go. Tritanya just changed into its other form. After it uses Wind Cutter like twice or so, I didn't actually pay attention. We can go ahead and try to kill it with the Killer Bow. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna use X-Fight and hope for the Killer Bow proc, which is an 8% chance of occurring each attack. And it can occur each time I'm using X-Fight here. If it doesn't happen, and Giga Flare goes off, then I will be in a big trouble because that will kill me. Alright. Come on, it's a 28% chance. And hey, Raiden BLN, welcome. How are you doing? Hope you have a nice day so far. Okay, that's another death. And this is the reason why I went back to save earlier. Because that can just happen. Let's actually try to see what happens if I attempt to just straight up kill Tritanya with damage. Once again, Tritanya likes to counterattack with Tidal Wave. And whenever I attack with X-Fight, it basically gives the enemy two opportunities to counter-attack. Tritanya does not always retaliate with Tidal Wave, but since it deals so much damage, it is gonna be pretty bad if it hits us. So I need to update my death counts. Let's see, where was I last? Alrighty, updated my death counts to have one more. This is not good. Those Iron Giants deal a ton of damage, and if you attack them, they counterattack with something that can confuse you. German Crab of Dreams. Or German Crab of Dreams. Thank you so much for the host, I appreciate that. Welcome, how are you doing? And good luck with Final Fantasy XIV. Alright, let's see how this is gonna go. Once again, this is about 8000 damage. We have to attack 5 times in order to win. This is number 1. One tidal wave counter, the first one didn't go through. That's a lot of damage. Actually, I probably should not have attacked here. I should have waited until Tritanya entered, because it's gonna attack here now and I might be just dead. Yeah, I'm just dead. Okay, that was a mistake. So, we only need 5 attacks in order to kill Tritanya. That's true. No, that's not true. I need actually 7. So, I need 7 attacks, which I have enough time to get in 7 attacks before Giga Flare, but it will also cost me a ton of resources if I attempt to do that. Just grab is fine, fair enough. Zakari, please. An anagram of solo challenge is alcohol angels, or angels. Well, I mean, an engel is an angel, just the German word for it, but without the S at the end, so it almost works. I like it though. So I think I'm just going to go with the strategy of attempting to get lucky via either the Assassin Dagger or the other thing. Alternatively, what I could do, and that is something actually, now that I think about it, everybody does have access to, is using the magic lamp 3 times. The 3rd time it will be Odin, and that is an instant death move. So in theory, everybody actually has access to instant death. I was wrong about the White Mage. I guess outside of the magic lamp you don't have access to instant death. But oh well. Either way, I'm going to wait until Tritanya here uses Wind Slash, I think twice. And I actually want to defend rather than just wait. That way I can tell whether Tritanya will take a brief break here. Let's see. There it is. Okay, now it's in the 2nd form, and I have a 1 in 4 chance for the Assassin Dagger to actually connect. No, unfortunately it did not work. That increases our death count by 1 more. Need to get a bit lucky here. The problem about using the magic lamp is I do want to keep that 3rd charge in order to deal with the final boss. And if I use up the magic lamp, I will have to go all the way back out of the void in order to recharge it, which is not that pleasant. Does X-Fight not trigger specials? X-Fight does trigger counterattacks, and it is a physical nature, which means if the boss reacts to physical damage, X-Fight will trigger that, and Tritanya specifically reacts twice, or more specifically, X-Fight actually triggers 2 counterattacks. The 1st and the 3rd attacks each individually have a chance to trigger counterattack, and those counterattacks can be Tidal Wave, which deals about 1000 damage. I could go and grab a Coral Ring, which would absorb water damage, but I don't think I would be fast enough to actually kill Tritanya in that time. So what I'm just gonna do is I'm gonna equip the Assassin Dagger and wait. Hotsrod, thank you! Thank you so much for 42 arms of support. Welcome back to you. Well, I'm glad you enjoy your stay. Thank you so much. How are you doing, Hotsrod? Well, Wind Slash doesn't deal a whole lot of damage. I don't know. That's the... Yeah, I mean, Mind Blast can come before. Now it's gonna be Wind Slash. Another Wind Slash. I'm going to defend after this Wind Slash to see when Tritanya will transform. Tritanya may just transform right around here. There we go. Basically, I wanted to time it so I might get 3 attacks in rather than just 2. And we did not need the 3 attacks. Nice. That is 3 deaths to Tritanya. And we will want to go and save our progress sometime soon, but before that, the next boss after this, or more specifically the next real boss after this, is gonna be a bit of a monster as well. For which I will want to clear out the way. So I would like to go and deal with Gilgamesh coming up, who is just basically a little mini-boss that I want to briefly take care of, so I don't have to sit through his dialogue the entire time for every try again. Because I expect to die against the upcoming dude as well. Good morning to you, Hotshot, and thank you so much for 42 ROMs of support. Welcome back. That's a really long time. Well, I'm glad you enjoy your stay. Thank you so much, Hotshot. That's really kind of you. So those guys counterattack physically if I attack physically. So I'm gonna move into the back row so their physical attacks are not as strong. For the instant death effect of the assassin, a potential assassin. Oh, that's what you mean. Oh, I'm sorry, Stradivarian. So, the X-Fight does not trigger the Assassin Dagger special, and it also does not trigger the Chicken Knife special. Sorry, I did not catch on what you meant there until just now. So, the short version is that the Chicken Knife has an on-attack effect that makes you flee from encounters or try to flee. And the Assassin Dagger is the same, it's on attack. The thing is, X-Fight circumvents those on attack triggers. However, it does proc the on hit triggers. And specifically, blinding an enemy via the Darkness Bow and insta-killing an enemy via the Killer Bow is an on hit trigger rather than an attack trigger, and those do work with X-Fight. So Gilgamesh didn't even get to do anything, but this kind of dialogue sequence would take quite a long time every time I need to do this again. Once again, I do expect to have trouble against the upcoming boss, really. Necrophobia coming up is a pretty unique boss in that you need to deal with the 4 barriers around him first before you can actually attack him directly. And the 4 barriers are a pretty big problem. Also, let me equip the Mirage Vest real quick. Just so I have 1 physical attack that does not that gets absorbed. So the problem about Necrophobia's first phase is that there is the 4 barriers. Each one has about 8100 HP, I think. I'm not entirely sure about that number. It's somewhere around the 8000 range. And well, that's not a whole lot, because X-Fight's target is random. We basically have a 1 in 5 chance to hit the same barrier each subsequent time after hitting it the first time, which is not the greatest odds of killing a barrier. We get about 3 rounds of combat before the barriers will get their action, and their action will be that they use Flare and Holy, each one dealing about 1000 damage to us, which, as you might be able to tell, we survived 2 of them, and there's 4 barriers. Because all the barriers go approximately at the same time, that is a bit of a problem. So there's 2 kind of methods on how I can potentially survive something like that. And in case you're wondering, unfortunately it does not work to reflect those spells. As in, Flare and Holy can be reflected, but the barriers inherently start with reflect themselves, and instead of casting it directly onto you, they cast it onto themselves. So that's one thing. We can possibly get an elixir in between the second and the third spell cast, but that is mostly luck dependent whether that even works. But it might still be my best option, for that matter. Aside from that... Please let me run, buddy. Thank you. Aside from that, what can we do? Now with the Geomancer, I ended up just unleashing the first 2 charges of the magic lamp. Well, at least... Actually, no, I didn't. Did I? I think that was the plan, but I'm not sure I ended up doing it. But with the low magic power of the Hunter, we actually don't really get the option to do that. Well, I mean, we can. The problem is, the first 2 charges of the magic lamp don't really deal much damage. So it would be less than ideal to try and attempt that. We really just need to get past phase 1. By the way, most of the chests I don't pick up contain pinwheels, which is a crazy strong throwing weapon for a ninja, but we are not a ninja, so it's useless. And that one chest just south was actually the super boss Shinryu. I don't think we have a good way of dealing with Shinryu, so I'll just skip out on the super boss. At least I can't really think of any way of dealing with him. And here we go, over there's Necrophobia. Let's see, what do I want to do? Mirage Vest is technically going to help me in the second phase against Necrophobe himself. But it's actually not that big of a deal, interestingly enough, because I just need to blind him. Necrophobe we can blind, and I will certainly be taking advantage of that. Also, the little barriers cannot be insta-killed by Odin, in case you're wondering. I for a while thought you could, but it's actually not a possibility. I think more agility is potentially the way to go. I'm using the Dark West instead. So I don't deal quite 4000 damage actually with one hit. So what I will do is, first of all, let's see. I'm going to start with X-Wide and hope that we hit at least one of the front barriers twice. Okay, that's really good, because now I can take out this barrier. Oh, this barrier here. Now this is RP first. Hopefully we don't get the 1 in 4 chance to proc chicken knife. Alrighty. That barrier is dead. Now what I'm gonna do is I will put my cursor onto Elixir and just wait until the barriers start casting and then immediately use an Elixir. And I hope I get the Elixir in before they complete their spell cast. I'm reasonably certain that we cannot kill a second barrier before it would be too late. So I just used the Elixir. It's queued up. Hopefully it comes in before the next attacks. Okay, we should be safe until the next phase. So if we get 3 attacks in on one of the barriers, we would kill it, but it's a 25% chance each time to flee each time instead. And we also have to kind of heal. So I will do that first. So let's just go for it. The thing is, the barriers will probably move again right now, and it's actually going to deal more damage now than Foliar Flare. So their second turn is always going to be Ice 3, Fire 3 or Lightning 3. And because they cast it on all of themselves, it actually deals 150% damage, since normally multi-target penalty is 50% damage on all targets. But because all 3 targets will hit me, it will be 150% damage. So I'm just gonna do the same thing here, and kind of hope I will survive the thing. Oh my goodness. Should I just attack instead? I don't know how much time I have until the second barrier goes. Once we kill one more barrier, we will be fine. I could risk an X fight and hope that I hit the front barrier twice. Or 3 times even. Hey Matrick, welcome. How are you doing? But at this point I've already waited, so I'm just gonna queue an elixir as soon as they move. A 1000 damage. Okay, we should survive that. So I have to queue an elixir no matter what. One more attack on this thing and it's dead. Okay. Should be fine now. Gonna be rather costly still to just keep using elixirs here, but I don't feel like I have much of a choice in the matter. They are still in the back row here behind Necrophobia, so Chicken Knife will only deal half damage. So I've been thinking my better bet right now is to switch to the Yoichi Bow. In order to do that. I will switch to the Yoichi Bow, however, after taking another turn, so I keep the 5 agility from the Chicken Knife. No, I want to kill one more barrier. Maybe X-Fight is better actually, just for potential crits. Oh my goodness, that's really good actually. That's been really lucky right there. Okay. So the Fire 3 and Ice 3 damage is reduced now. Going to once again switch to the Chicken Knife when switching here. So while Yoichi Bow actually deals less damage still, even in the back row compared to the Chicken Knife, I think it's still better just because it does not have the chance to run away instead. And I think I can kill this barrier here. Oh, no, not quite. Flare, by the way, penetrates magic defense. So I don't think I have a whole lot of magic defense, so yeah, the damage is not going to be much different. And in case you're curious, single target is still going to deal full damage, so I expect it to be a slightly more than 700 damage for single target. So in theory, I should survive by using high potions instead now. Well, I survive anyways if I just do this. This way we save some elixirs. Those barriers, by the way, have like 200 MP. They don't have too much MP, so they will run out reasonably quickly. And I will want to prepare, actually, for Necrophobia. I don't know whether you can blind him already. I don't think it actually works. But I want to try. Because my goal will be to blind Necrophobia as soon as the second phase starts. Since that is kind of a big deal, since Necrophobia is actually really strong physically. Like, his physical prowess is ridiculously insane. And he attacks twice each turn. What he can do, if he is funny like that, he can decide to use Maelstrom, which puts us, or Hurricane I guess, that puts us into critical HP, and then next he can use Cat is looking at me expectantly. After Hurricane, he can use just a regular attack and straight up kill me, which would be less than ideal to say the least. I'm just gonna equip the darkness bow and move into the back row, just so his physical attacks, if he hits them, would be halved in power. I'm going to use X-Fight here, just because it might be able to blind Necrophobia if it does hit. I have no idea whether that's even a thing or not. Alright. Actually, you actually did more damage than this back row. That's okay. Either way, I will probably just X-Fight with the darkness bow as soon as I get out of this for now. So for now, we use the Yoichi bow to deal a bit more damage to the little barrier. The little barrier is very soon out of MP. I don't know how much it has left. Oh, in theory, the anti-magic bow can silence it. It didn't silence it. I'm actually just curious right now whether it can even silence it. Oh, it can. It's actually a proc that can be reflected even. So that's less than hit here. Is that Frieza? Not quite. He has more like bat wings rather than anything else. Not enough MP. Alright, it's out of MP now. Okay, I think we are as prepared as it gets. I actually want to finish it off with the chicken knife rather than anything else, just so I have the extra agility and get my turn quicker. Also, I need to use 2 charges of the magic lamp as well, in order to prepare it for the final boss. Mega Flare will deal pretty decent damage actually. Leviathan, Big Wave, not quite as much, but that's still okay. And I think Necrophobia might have just had his turn right there. Okay, he still had enough MP to use Fire 3s, so... I will heal that up all the way to full because... it might matter. Probably doesn't, but who knows. Only, it certainly does not have enough MP for that anymore. And it should also not have enough MP for the regular level 3 spells either. The 25% chance to run away from combat each time I use the chicken knife. Okay, that was Necrophobia's turn just now. Basically I could tell because there was a little waiting in the ETB at the bottom. Okay. So what Necrophobia first, always, whenever he becomes active, is just use Flash. You can not attack him before he uses Flash, or at least it doesn't deal damage. So we need to deal about 34,000 damage to him. And this is gonna be basically an RNG fest. Let's go. 1,200 damage, but more importantly, he should almost certainly be blinded after this, and then we switch to Yoichi Bow. Oh, I did not mean... well, I guess he is now guaranteed blinded. Not technically. This is a very tiny, slim chance that he would not be blinded yet, but... oh. Ho ho ho! Oh my goodness. If he wasn't blinded, he would have straight up killed me there. By the way, he still has a 25% chance to hit. And that's exactly what I meant. He just uses Hurricane and then Vacuum Wave, and that's instant death for most characters. At least for most characters that can't blind him, but thankfully a Hunter can indeed blind him. We are up to about 5,000 damage, I guess. Slightly more than that. Okay. Please get some crits in there too, Ferris. I would guess that's about 9,000 damage, approximately now. No crits at all. The 30% chance to critically hit with each attack. I'm busy. What? Sorry. Ouch. Vacuum wave. The thing is, if he hits me with a physical and a vacuum wave after, that's gonna hurt really bad. So, elixir might feel like a waste here, but I want to heal more than 500. And I don't know whether I have enough time to do so. Okay, that's really nice. Finally some critical hits. Okay. Starting to make headway. By the way, that would have been 2000 damage in the front row. If I were to stand in the front row. This is why I'm standing in the back row with the Yoichibo instead. One of the very, very few times in a solo character challenge run that you don't use the chicken knife. Even though you have access to it. Good evening to you, Nebicode. Welcome. You're glad the new time zones allows you to watch my streams live again during the week. I see. All glad to hear that. Alrighty, here's Greg, or also known as Gilgamesh. And this means we basically successfully defeated Necrophobia. At this point, there's no way to lose anymore, unless I hit myself with the Yoichibo and crit, I guess. But let's not do that. So, in this fight, also in the previous Gilgamesh fight, you could actually attempt to steal from Gilgamesh in order to get a Genji shield and the Genji armor. I believe the Genji shield is in here, and the Genji armor was in the previous fight. And those are pretty decent pieces of equipment. And even if you're not a thief, you can just equip the thief's knife and attack him with it. You don't even need to hit. It doesn't matter that I'm blinded. As soon as the steal opportunity procs, I would have the chance to steal from him. I can't use it as a hunter, but it's just like, might as well check whether I get it. Alright, I need to turn up the air conditioner real quick, so give me a second. Maybe I can steal in the meantime. Alrighty, so I'm actually really glad Necrophobia went so smooth. I did invest a lot of elixirs, to be fair, but I felt like that was necessary. Maybe I want to steal like 2 or 3 more in order to prepare for the final boss. But aside from that, we are pretty much here at the end now. I'm kind of surprised actually that we did not die to Necrophobia. That is usually a big point of... There's the Genji armor. A big point of reset for a lot of characters. And with the Genji armor, that's kind of all I needed. At this point I might as well use the eye drops. I will want to use those anyways before the fight. I remember putting them all the way down here. Now I can use aim again. Bye, Gilga bro. I wonder whether Necrophobia always dies. Like in theory, he only has 10,000 HP left after the cinematic starts, because that's kind of the requirement for the cinematic to start in the first place. But what if you heal him? What if you heal Necrophobia? So he would have more than 10,000 HP left. Would he still die to Gilgamesh Exploder? I would guess probably. Greetings to you, PMA04SNB. Feel free to correct me on how to pronounce that. I see. That's pretty awesome, actually. I wish you good luck with that. You could say knights are not the hardest, but I wouldn't necessarily classify knights as being necessarily easy either. But that sounds good. Good luck to you, and have fun with that. Okay. This is actually precisely what I was looking for. This is a roaming crystal dragon, or just crystal dragon, and they have the common to steal elixirs. And I just want to steal. This is a lot of damage. I just want to steal from them. I'm gonna equip the guardian dagger for now. I will put my chicken knife up higher in the list so it's easy to swap to it. And I will still put my Thief's Knife higher up in the list. And the Yoichi Bow. And also the Darkness Bow. Sorry, I'm breaking my arrangement that I did. Yeah, I'm really glad you enjoy this. I just kind of laugh, really enjoy silly challenges, and this is definitely a challenge that I would categorize as rather silly. I'm actually equipping the chicken knife so I can try to run away. Hopefully anyways. There we go. So, those crystal dragons deal a ton of damage, so I do want to sit in the back row. And also I want to equip the Mirage Vest, so we absorb 1 physical attack too. Okay. I would like to have like 13-14 elixirs. We have 12 right now, so 1 or 2 more elixirs to steal, and I'm going to be happy with this. XDF at the end of World 2 was definitely a challenge. Yeah, I can imagine. That guy is quite a monster. Like, even if you don't have any restrictions to your gameplay in any capacity, that guy is quite monstrous, to say the least. You might be able to exploit certain weaknesses. Like, one of the combos I wish I get is White Mage plus Time Mage in one of my solo character challenges, because if you slow XDF at the end of World 2, he will counterattack and cast haste on himself. But what if you cast Wall on him, he will not be able to cast haste on himself, he will instead haste you and be actually permanently slowed. And I just always wanted to just kind of exploit that, but it just never get the opportunity. Especially at level 28, yes. A lot of things just straight up kill you at 28. Did you end up grinding for a wall ring or 2 potentially? That probably would help quite a bit dealing with him at the end there. Imagine that's a lot of Phoenix Downs and high potions used. No wall ring, wow, alrighty. Try to steal from you. Couldn't steal. It's only 40% chance to be able to steal. Also, he loves using Breathwing, which is 25% of my maximum health and damage, meaning 2 more times and I'm dead. Gonna switch the Thief's Knife into the other hand, just so the Mirage Vest replenishes. There is, it's a 50-50 chance to try and steal. Please. No! Why? Why does that keep happening? Well, let me tell you, this Dragoon Spear here is the rare steal from a Crystal Dragon, and it's really unlikely to get one. But I've had now at least in 4 or 5 solo character challenges where I was just trying to steal some elixirs. I just straight up got the Dragoon Spear on the 1st or 2nd attempt. I think this one was the 3rd one technically. That's just silly. Lots of high potions and Phoenix Downs. I see, it makes sense. Oops, I did not mean to steal from you. So by the way, fun fact. If I proc an effect such as the steal from the Thief's Knife, basically both the capture and the attack are two separate attacks. So the enemies can actually counterattack twice, like this guy just did with 2 Mind Blasts. So... not the most pleasant, to say the least. Are you serious? Back attack is a 1 in 16 chance. Sometimes I want Yaga's luck, always getting a rare drop when I actually want the regular drop. I mean, it's not always, but it's frequent enough that it's noticeable. By the way, those things, those weird crystal thingies, have about 4 HP, which makes them really difficult to capture via a Beastmaster. But it's absolutely possible. Alrighty, here we go. Silly Green Beret suddenly being at the top of my list. No, are you serious? Come on! That's silly. We have 2 Dragoon Spears now. Really? I mean, really? So, from what I know, the chance to steal is about 20%, just one successful steal each time attack. So that's okay. But if I do successfully steal, there's a 10 in 256 chance that I get the rare steal. Which, if my math does not betray me, that's not a whole lot. That's a really small chance, and that's just the second one right there. At this point, I might as well move into the front row and just use X-Fight in order to finish this guy off, if I couldn't run away there, that is. I see. There we go, another Crystal Dragon. Don't give me the Dragoon Spear, I don't want it. I don't want this in a Dragoon Spear. Couldn't steal, that's more common. Actually a 60% chance that we can't steal. $590 damage. I'll have to heal after the next one. There we go, that's my elixir. And I'm okay with these elixirs. I got 3 elixirs and 2 Dragoon Spears. That's so silly. Flipping the chicken knife again. And then we go and watch the cutscene. You know what? There's a very faint chance that I will run into a enemy that can use zombie power on me, and that would be an instant death and I would lose all the elixirs. So I'm just gonna equip the Angel Ring for this short walk here, just because I really want to keep those elixirs. And I guess I also kind of really want to keep the 2 Dragoon Spears, just because it's silly. Imagine a dragoon with jump, having 2 dragoon spears equipped because you would also get the two dual wield ability from a ninja. That would deal almost 20,000 damage in one jump to anything that is a dragon. Alrighty, we watch this first cutscene here, then we walk back in order to save, and then we go for the final boss. So, the final boss has 2 phases. The first phase is basically just the 3x death form, where we need to deal about 49,001 damage in order to push it into phase 2. The 3x death form is a bit annoying to deal with, because... Actually, does Bone Mail make me immune to zombie power? I don't think it does. Either way. The first phase... Basically, the first phase in phase 1, to be specific, he has a 1 in 3 chance pretty much every turn to cast White Hole. White Hole is an instant death and petrification move that, well, can just kill me. And there's not really much I can do about that. That's not entirely true. There's a minor glitch I could use in order to avoid that. I'm just gonna do it without it first, and if I die too many times to it, I will potentially use it. Then in the second phase, the very first turn he uses either Flare or Holy or a regular attack. Now the thing is the regular attacks deal about 1,000 damage themselves. So I will probably maybe want to use the Mirage Vest. I still haven't decided whether I generally want to use the Mirage Vest. I don't think the Hunter needs it, honestly. There's other ways we can deal with stuff. So what I would normally do if I were to use the Mirage Vest glitch, I would just stand in the front row and use the chicken knife repeatedly in order to hit him again and again and again. But instead, what I'm gonna do is I will... sit in the back row probably and use the Yoichibo, since his physical attacks hurt. They deal a crazy amount of damage. Hey Hobbes, welcome, how are you doing? Before that, I actually want to figure out what my best loadout is for dealing damage. So I will be using the Yoichibo from the back row, just because it's just better damage than the chicken knife on average, since it can critically hit too. Especially with X-Fight. So that's the first phase. We will just sit in the back row and heal at the opportune time, so to speak. Second phase is gonna be where we will have to do a lot of work. Good, lurking while at work, I see. Enjoy your lurk. So the minor glitch I could use with the Bone Mail in order to completely be immune against White Hole is equip the Bone Mail, get into combat, and then end the combat either by running away or winning it, and then unequip the Bone Mail in the menu. And for some reason that kind of has a lingering effect that I like to call just kind of the Bone Mail lingering effect, where I'm gonna be immune against instant death thanks to the Bone Mail still, and also immune against confusion and various other things. So it actually is a pretty big deal, since the second phase we will have to deal with a bunch of status effects. And being immune to more is actually pretty awesome. So, alrighty. I will probably use the Dark Armor, and probably the Dark Hood, or the Banana, I'm not sure. So with the Yoichibo, we have 47 strength. Let's see. I do want higher agility, but I also want to make sure that I'm not losing out on any potential attack multipliers. So what I want to do is I want to briefly calculate me being at level 48 and having basically 47 strength and 45 agility. So at level 48, we are actually 1 level away from getting a bonus through the agility multiplier, and 2 levels away from getting a bonus through the strength level multiplier. So if we were to just get one more level, we would deal a bunch more damage. If I were to use the bandana instead, we had 50 strength and 43 agility. The agility probably will not matter if we lose it. But let's see how those numbers work out. Level 48 here. Okay. Yeah. The agility basically doesn't matter. In fact, if we had even less agility than this would be a good thing because we would gain more attack power. So if I were to equip the strength armor instead, we have 52 strength then, which actually gives us a boost in damage, but only 42 agility. Which also gives us a boost in damage. So actually, this would be the best loadout for pure damage. It is kind of painful though to lose out on so much agility, however. I guess that's a lot of agility we lose, and basically a lot of... Once again, agility counts double for the purposes of having running shoes equipped. So we kind of lose out on 3 agility here. Actually, it's only 3, so 6 total. So this is basically just the best damage-wise. You do the glitch with both the ribbon and bone mail. I see, that makes sense. Yeah, the thing is, I still haven't really decided whether I really want to use it or not. I feel like the way I'm gonna handle it in general is I might use the glitch with the bone mail. I'm gonna using the glitch with the bone mail. If I feel like, okay, we've seen phase 1 now enough, it's just a matter of luck in order to get through the phase 1. But well, I mean, it does help a lot in phase 2 as well, which could avoid a lot of danger too, which makes it less interesting. I feel like the Hunter is just strong enough that I don't need to rely on a minor glitch like that. On other characters, I will probably use it if I feel like they are just really weak and need any advantage they can get. So I think that's how I will handle it. I feel like Hunter is strong enough, let's not worry about that. I'm also considering killing off the physical part of Neo Exter first. Just so I will be able to stand in the front row with the chicken knife, maybe? Maybe. No, I think Yoichi Boy is better. Also, hey Kamaru, welcome. Hope you're doing well, and enjoy the lurk. Actually, anybody who is lurking, enjoy your lurk. Don't worry about answering, just enjoy the lurk. Alrighty. Welcome to the fight. I started with the chicken knife just to switch to the Yoichibo because this gives me my turn slightly earlier. Okay, after we deal... I think 19,000 damage, slightly more than that technically. We will push him into phase 2 where he will use his Flare and Holy ability. So this is so far about 5,000 plus 6,000 damage, that's 11,000 damage so far. That is 12, 13, 14, 15... 16,000 damage, so one more X-Fight will push him into phase 2. I have to heal after this in order to survive the Holy or Flare attack, which will deal about 2,000 damage. I will just have to use an elixir right here. He could physically attack 1 in 3 times in this case. Oh god. I thought that was about 2,000 damage, not 2,800. I'm not sure what to do about that. I forgot, it's been a while. Huh. I could just try and rely on the 1 in 3 chance for him not to use Holy Out Flare, but that's also kind of silly. So what I will do instead is probably just go on level for a while. And also, here's my idea. I'm gonna equip the Dark Hood and the Dark Armor, and then figure out the best threshold for dealing damage. Let's see, that's 47 and 45. Figure out the best threshold for the next level of damage, and also figure out how much HP I need. Actually, let me check something real quick. Can you actually see... I do this. I think I used to use Opera for browser. Did I? I'm not sure. What did I use? Give me a second. I had a really nice and simple setup to just kind of show you what I'm doing for calculations and such. Hang on. Did I use Firefox? I might have used Firefox for that. I'll probably use Firefox for that. Yeah, I use Firefox, there it is. Loading now on my side, I need to resize it properly so you actually can see stuff. So give me a moment. I did not set up the... Hey, you can see my capture plan thing yet. Also, for some reason it's in the top left corner rather than over here. Actually, I think it's always been the case, now when I think about it. Okay. Trying to adjust it just so it fits nicely into the little window. Alrighty, so what I want to do is open up my calculator, and we need to figure out the HP values of our little hunter. And the way we do this is by checking the vitality stat, which is 27, which we already have inputted here. And now we need to figure out when do we have about 3000 HP. Right here, level 54. So with level 54, let's try to figure out real quick. With 47 strength. Oh, that's my numbers. Oh, I need to sign in first. I see, give me a moment. That's a bit awkward. Because I'm not sure I remember my password. Ah, I did remember my password. That's surprising. No, that's the wrong thing. That's the wrong scene. Also, I feel like I can adjust this a bit better here. There's probably a lot more stuff that I don't normally use in this screen here, so let me adjust this some more. Sorry, I should have done this beforehand. I forgot. So you don't need to see... Well, actually, some people like to see the formulas, I guess, that I put in. So that's fine. Okay, then I can make it slightly larger again after cutting off the top. There we go. Now we go to the calculator. So we have 47 strength. our weapon attack type is a dagger, which is the same formula that is used for bows, so that makes sense. And we have 45 agility. Okay, if we go to level, what was it, 56? Maybe 53 would be sufficient. Actually 54 it was. 55 actually gives us a 2 multipliers at the same time, both agility and strength multipliers we would get. So if I go to level, it will probably be more pragmatic to just go to 55 at this point. So I would say let's just do that, I guess. We can see whether the Avis bow is any good against the Dragon Avis or not. Okay. I kind of hope we could avoid this, but my only other thought on how to get fast phase 1 would be if I were to... Hang on, I need to check the knife real quick. My only other thought how to get past phase 1 would be at this point would be using Carbuncle from the Magic Lamp, but then I wouldn't have Odin for the second phase, which would make that really awkward. Alternatively, I could use a Wall Ring, but missing out on the Haste Shoes is too big of a deal, I dare to say. It's technically doable, I would guess, but considering I only get like a fraction of the attacks in comparison to before, I feel like that would be no good in the end. Also, I want to get my... I want to get my Mirage Vest back for leveling, I guess. Yeah, I guess password is the same as mine. Star, 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 star. Right. That sounds about right. There we go. No, come on! Oh, that's just silly now. Stop. Seriously. Stop. We have 3 Dragoon Spears now. Really? We also stole 3 elixirs for that matter. I feel like the probability of getting a Dragoon Spear is actually a lot higher than what is proposed with the 10 in 256. Like, I have an idea on how that might be working in the code through a Thief's Knife, but I would need somebody who can actually look into the code in order to potentially confirm that for me. If somebody has the prowess on how to do that, I would be really curious. So here's my idea proposition. So whenever you use the steal command as a thief, you have a 40% chance to steal from an enemy, as you might expect. It makes sense, right? Now here's my idea. What if, since the RNG values are very limited in Final Fantasy V, what if it just so happens that the numbers, basically the RNG numbers in sequence, happen to work out in a way where when you try to attack with the Thief's Knife, it has to be successful to use a capture, and then another being successful for the 40%, so it's only 20% chance of working each time you attack. What if in those 20% it just happens to have, coincidentally, a lot higher of a likelihood than the proposed 10 in 256 to actually get the rare item? And so in a weird kind of way, it might be more efficient to fish for rare items through the Thief's Knife rather than anything else. This is just kind of thought. Hey Raycodactylus, it's going quite well, thank you. How are you doing? Greetings to you. So I believe the best place to grind is going to be right outside here. Confirmation bias sounds more likely. Oh, I'm well aware of that. It's just, it doesn't feel like it. I actually have video proof in a certain, if you want to call it that, to prove that this basically happened weirdly frequently, that I did indeed end up getting the Dragoon Spear. So, I don't know. Gar, thank you! Thank you so much for 25 ROMs of support. That's more than 2 years now. Welcome back. Thank you for the good luck, and well, I'm glad you enjoy your stay. Thank you so much, Gar. That's really kind of you. One more attack on the left guy and the rest on the right. Perfect. Good job, Ferris. Those things gave me 4040 experience. So, actually not much better than a Chimera outside, interestingly enough. Is there any reliably single target enemy that you could think of that a hunter could easily take out quickly? Just kind of throwing that question out there. I mean, J-Shot, basically, I guess my question in the end is, there is effectively... What? The left guy, please. There is... That's silly. There is basically no... To my knowledge, there is no possible sequence of RNG values that allows you to have a single Berserker defeat Omniscient with a Mage Master. It just is not possible. To my knowledge. But how true is that then that I'm just getting way too many Dragoon Spears? It seems interesting, and I think it's in the realm of possibilities. Confirmation bias, absolutely a possibility. Or maybe the likelihood of stealing the rare drop for those items is just a lot higher than people actually say. Any instant death Iron Giants, they give 10,000 experience. I do not have any way of instant deathing enemies. They are not heavy, but I don't have any way to really take advantage of that. Oh boy. Thor, thank you! Thank you so much for 5 ROMs of support. Welcome back to you. Twice, I guess. Well, I'm glad you enjoy your stay. Killer Bow has only about a 28% chance to proc, and it is subject to enemy magic evasion, and Iron Giants do have really high magic evasion. Like, it's not an on-hit guarantee like the Mystic Knight if it happens. And basically they counterattack twice, which would be really bad for me. How's the move going? Well, the move is pretty much complete. Let me be honest, it was kind of a nightmare, but it's done now, so a lot nicer and more relaxing. Aside from it being a nightmare, I would say it actually went reasonably well. So, I guess I'm not complaining. You don't think it's subject to evasion, it's just a status it did. Oh, it's something I've read. I thought it was. You might be right. Either way, it's only a, well, 28% chance on a single target to get that. And hey, Sindrina, welcome back to you. I'm glad it's done. Yes, me too. Welcome back, I hope you're doing well. Confirmation bias is used to fall prey to even when you're aware of it. Yeah. You know, I usually like to think that I'm not as prone as most people. But then again, that's probably confirmation bias in itself too. I'm just curious whether there is any way to test or confirm or deny that idea. Because I know the RNG is rigid enough in Final Fantasy V that it is a possibility. I just don't know how likely that would be. It is weird and doesn't work like other status weapon. It's true. It's the same for... You know, here's the thing. If I did not read that Killer Bow's instant death proc was subject to evasion, I would have assumed it's like the Darkness Bow, which is almost certainly not subject to evasion. However, for anybody who may have just joined us, our current goal is leveling up to level 55, because unfortunately, we figured out that it's not 2000 damage that X-Death deals with flare or holy spells. It's about 2800 or 2900, probably even more than that. So my current goal to level up is to level 55, which also gives me a really nice bonus to attack power through both the agility and also strength modifier. And that's just what I'm working towards right now. You're not sure? I'm not sure either. I'm okay with this. 4 attacks against one dragon is fine. Actually, that's the optimal case scenario, because it guarantees that we defeat them in 2 rounds. It's certainly not reliant on evasion and level, or you'd have never triggered it on the Seal Guardians. I mean, I was pretty high level there, but it's true. I mean, the trigger is 8%, but the probability of hitting the death spell is not 0. You don't know any magic that counts evasion but not level difference for hit rate. Yeah, me neither. It's exactly a 50-50 split, we need another exactly 50-50 split in order to defeat both Dragon Avis here. And we got it. I've gotten really lucky with those X-Fights so far. Rarely. I think it's only been once more than 2 rounds of combat. And yes, we are grinding for experience. Yes, it is additive, Jace. There were 30 levels of difference, and the base chance for Doom to hit, I think, is like 75%. So even then, I would still have a 20% to hit whenever it procs. So, give me a moment. Alrighty, I'm back, kinda. Gesundheit. I was supposed to tell you that. You're not sure you should be happy or sad that all those bows are just completely surpassed by the chicken knife. Actually, bows have been some of the few weapons that I've actually used over the chicken knife. Because bows have both special effects like Darkness Bow. Honestly, I just love the Darkness Bow. And for that matter, they also have special effects, like being able to shoot for full damage in the back row, into the back row. Guess those are 2 different things, based on my positioning and enemy positioning. Probably Rhacodactylus. Find something not heavy with really high magic evasion. Well, I mean, the Iron Knights or Iron Giants are pretty much your best candidate for that gesture. I'm actually curious, how much agility do we have? 43 strength, 46 agility. Let's see. Okay, I get a damage boost at level 51 for both the agility and the strength for the chick knife, so it's actually gonna be a double boost. What level am I so far? 49, almost 40, almost 50. Oh boy. I figured the hunter would be strong enough to not have to do this. But I guess strength is not the deciding factor here. It's more of a case of we just don't survive that one attack. And it just happens to be probably more pragmatic to go ahead and... Oh, I guess I can happen. I should just still use X, right? Even though it was one hit left. I forgot about that. So it is probably more pragmatic to just kind of stick to leveling rather than trying to get lucky with the 1 in 3. Because the 1 in 3 is basically the same as XDEF 1 at the beginning, and I prefer that not to be just a pure round of luck there. Because there's enough luck involved already in the second phase. Kind of interesting to think about it. Unless you're a mage that can get shell one way or another, you're kind of prone to... You're kind of prone to having to have at least 3000 HP. Also, I'm going to eventually run out of high potions. Also, hey Quadlight, welcome. How are you doing? Max HP was the biggest wall for solo challenges you've done so far. Yeah, that makes sense. Hey guys, Twitch just sent me an email. New PUBG skins now available. Unsubscribe from this list. Thank you. Okay. Actually surprising how frequently it works out that it's only 2 rounds of combat. But I guess eventually we are not that lucky anymore. You should have a cat cam. Oh. So you're looking at the algorithm FAQ, and there's no modified to status effect chance, it's just 8%. Ah. Alright. Basically, I'm convinced. It makes sense. I'm just kind of curious where I did read that it is subject to evasion. It might have actually been in Sola's guide. I really like Sola, but frequently enough there's not necessarily correct information in there. How much HP do those Avis dragons have, by the way? Currently I need to dump more than 8,000 damage into him in order to kill them. And I wonder whether there would be an easier solution. In terms of, if I have just a little bit more damage, whether 3 attacks would be sufficient. 7,000. Let's see, we are 3159 times 3 is 6, 3, 6, 4. Basically not quite 6,500 damage, so it would require a fair bit more damage instead. Actually curious, if I equip the Avis killer instead, which this thing is apparently an Avis, whether that would be potentially more reliable. No, it's less damage than the chicken knife. To be fair, it's really good damage, and it is from the back row, but chicken knife is just better. I think the only damage I'm ever taking is from a breath wing of a Dragon Avis. The less enemies, the better. Yeah, I can't really think of any other place where there would just be one enemy that I could one-shot or one-cycle. At least not reliably as an encounter, aside from the Chimera. And I feel like this is more efficient than the Chimera. Big Knife is really overpowered. Yeah, if you can circumvent the flee effect of it, it's really crazy good. And for a lot of classes, it's basically the solution to everything. The exception are usually mages, which are just really strong by themselves in other regards. Dragon Avis has to steal for the Artemis bow. It's a rare steal, isn't it? I already have an Artemis bow that I got from History Falls, I think. I just exploit twice. Fishing for a cat. You could see that perspective on Kashura's channel. You always thought it was more odd that there's weapons more powerful than sealed weapons just laying around. To an extent, yeah. To be fair, the... The Artemis bow is actually stronger than most the other bows anyways, just thanks to its critical hit rate, even if the stats are not quite up there. Aside from that, it's really better overall, I would say. And now we deal 2,286 damage, times 3 is 6,600, 6,700. Yeah, we would need probably an additional boost like that in order to more reliably one-cycle the Dragon Avis. Or Avis Dragons, I guess. We're level 51. 4 more? Well, probably more like 3.5. I haven't checked in a while. Kind of interesting, aside from back attacks. We apparently go 3 times before the Dragon Avis go once. And hey, Cat, I'm doing quite well, thank you. How are you doing? Kitty is now hiding under my chair from the evil Kishura that wiped her face with wet wipes.
To be very fair, she has very, very leaky eyes for her.
Oh yeah, I didn't see. I guess I did say you're evil, didn't I? That was more from the kid's perspective. Do I feel very rested today? Waking up, not really, to be honest. We'll see, really. I just want to get started, like, at least 2 or 3 hours into the casual game. I kind of hope to finish Final Fantasy 5 quicker than this. But I underestimated the power of a tree, I guess. And hey, Corona Cat, welcome, how are you doing? Good morning, good evening, and good afternoon to you. Wonder how much HP a ninja has. You're fine. Tired as well, but aside from that, it's okay. Alrighty. That's fair. Hopefully nothing too bad with you tired. And hey Zainathon, welcome to you. Please don't put the frogs in the food box. Frogs are friends, not food. Hooray, save a frog. case anybody is wondering why I'm not just using aim rather than another X-Fight in order to finish off the ninja, you may have forgotten, kind of like I did earlier, that the chicken knife has a 1 in 4 chance to run away from combat instead, so that would be less than ideal. Ouch. By the way, if you guys would like to still vote on which casual game is going to be my next casual game, you can do so on the straw poll that I posted in Discord yesterday, but I might as well post it here in chat again, because potentially not everybody's in Discord. Oh, I need to actually pay attention and use X-Fight, because the vote was already done during the Yagashurathon for which casual game I should play next, and it just happens that Chrono Trigger and Super Mario RPG ended up on the same amount. So now we need to decide which one we play first, and then we play the other one. So which one do you like more, Super Mario RPG or Chrono Trigger? You vote for Total War 3 Kingdoms. Sorry, that is not on the list. You could have put it on the list during Yagashurathon if you were willing to donate for it. That was an option. You don't like Chrono Trigger, that's why you voted for it? That's weird. Both that you voted for it because you don't like it, but also that you don't like it. I guess that's fair too, though. We gained a level 52. And what I'm gonna do is I'm actually going to go back real quick to save, because there is a slight chance to get into a back attack in this room here, where I get Deathclawed and immediately killed. So I just kinda want to save the progress in between. Just a little bit. Shouldn't take too much longer. Just 3 more levels. Let's actually try this guy here. Wait, they have like 20,000 HP, don't they? X-Fight might not have been the clever choice. Wait, they don't trigger counterattack from X-Fight? And he's dead. Oh. They don't trigger a counterattack from X-Fight. That's very interesting. Let's just try, I guess, killing Iron Giants instead. This is anything but safe. Also wrong place. You think Yaga may have more fun with SMRPG, but he's won and now received the Chrono Trigger Marathon Prize from a go without ever having played Chrono Trigger thoroughly, so I see what you're getting at, that's fair. What? Oh. Just put it into the correct hand, okay? I think you're right, by the way. It's just a straight up 8% chance to trigger death via aim, via X-Fight per attack, rather than being afflicted by magic evasion. And hey Kalaka boy, welcome, how are you doing? What do I think of Ohio? For traditional American food, you recommend to try the Cracker Barrel restaurant, sure they have a location near you. I see. I've been at a Cracker Barrel before. Apparently they don't have a location near us though. But I've been there like 3 years ago. Something. like that. 2.5. Either way, thank you, Kalaka boy. What do I think of it? I like the people. It's a bit weird to be over here, to be completely frank. Because everything is laid out for cars, and I don't like driving cars. And I just really enjoyed being able to just walk to the store and briefly buy something if I wanted to. And that's kind of a lot more time invested around here. This is really interesting. Though not nearly as dangerous as I thought it would be. I thought they would counterattack my X-Fights, but apparently they don't. Strange. Maybe they specifically counterattack attack. Uh-oh, that's not good. That's really not good. Alright. Let's put it this way, we don't go for Iron Giants. I forgot they could even do that. I would need to use a bone mail. Plus, I guess it really didn't help that was in the front row. Let's just continue down here, it's way safer. You don't really hate Chrono Trigger, you played it yourself and liked it. You just don't like how people put the game on pedestal and said it was the best game ever. I mean, let's put it this way, Quadlight, I think that's a fair sentiment to have. But I kind of personally like to separate the fan cults with the actual game and just kind of try to look at the game for its own merits, which admittedly can be really difficult in some cases. But I understand where I come from. Started playing through Chrono Trigger again after seeing it during Yakasharathon. Haven't played this in years. Nice. Hope you enjoyed it. You're in Southern California. Yes, you have to drive here too. Yeah, that makes sense. Past that, it's apples and oranges. That sounds about right. Yeah, I'm not sure about Star Ocean. I feel like Star Ocean kind of feels like it's missing half of its content, to be completely honest, for at least the Super Famicom Star Ocean one. Like technologically, visually, and sound-wise, it's amazing. But it kind of feels like it's lacking a little bit of something. Profness wins. The power. It's too strong. Star Ocean is impressive graphically, the rest not so much. Honestly, I like the concept. I like the idea of the system. But kind of like Tales of Fantasia for the Super Famicom, the execution you can say is basically a prototype. I do not have any control over that Signathon. I don't have access to those numbers. So if anything, you would have to blame Quadlight. Star Ocean has graphics, audio tech, although maybe has memorable arrangement. Oh, I see. A more complex need for plot branching by character recruitment. And to that end, more replay value. Oh, I forgot about the character recruitment. To be fair, I've only ever played through it once, so I never really recruited other characters. That's true. I guess the main reason why I felt like it was kind of lacking was because I didn't really explore the other branches, did I? I wonder... Hey, Quadlight. What if the food box is empty and somebody takes a frog out of it? Do I have to put a frog into the food box in order for the food box to be empty again? Underflow the frogs. Something like that. No, we would be working with a signed integer, so there would be no underflow. We would go into the negative. If the box is empty, there's no frogs to remove. No, it's Koala. It's the same concept as if you have a room, and then 3 people come out of the room. Basically, then 3 people have to go back into the room in order for the room to be empty. It just makes sense, right? Mathematically. No, if you use a sign integer, sign-a-thon, it would just kind of be -1 frog. I think it's called sign integer. Okay, overflow the frogs from negative to positive. Something like that. This underflow is technically a load precision thing. Yeah, it's not technically called underflow when you go from... Or when if you go down and then suddenly land at a really high number. It's true. It's technically also called an overflow, but I just call it underflow because that's what people usually tend to understand under that. If we had 10 frogs, they will evolve into frog champ. I don't know, frog champ. So for X5 to hit the same target 4 times in a row in those Avis Dragon fights is 50-50 each time, that is 50-50, 25%, 12.5%. So 1 in 8 times we hit the same target 3 times, because the first attack doesn't matter which one it hits. It just needs to, the 3 subsequent ones needs to hit the same target again. So 1 in 8 seems to happen reasonably frequently, it feels like. But then again, that's just kind of the ones that I notice. Ooh, I think we leveled up our damage here. We are 2,400 damage now per attack. The one from Breath of Fire, you added that as your first submission. Whoa, that's really good. That's a really good one. So I have 25 out of 25 emotes now. I would have to remove something like one of the Grimers if I wanted to add any more. But to be fair, there's not that many Franker Faces emotes that I tend to use. Just a sprite from the game. If it's just a sprite from the game, it fits surprisingly well. By the way, we do kill now an Abyss Dragon with 3 attacks guaranteed. Really nice, because that's the same now for as the ninjas, and that makes it more reliable to kill them in 2 rounds. Wrong way is important, it is. Inclined to agree. Humor levels. I'm starting to get really hungry. I meant to finish this game, take a quick food break and start into the casual game, but this might get a bit tricky. That pose works too well with the Grimer throw. It's really good, I agree. The random question, guys, that I just seen on Twitter here. If you could invite a single pre-Final Fantasy VII character to eat your breakfast with you, who would it be and why? No, it has to be before Final Fantasy VII, guys. Pre-Final Fantasy VII. I guess I didn't pronounce that properly. I should not fight two Abyss. I should really not fight this. Alright, it's getting dangerous actually. I might just use an elixir here. Yeah, I'm using an elixir here. And at this point I might as well finish the fight, I guess. Sephiroth, he can cut bread like a champ. Nice. Terra because he's really hot. I see, fair enough, Samuel. Kane from Final Fantasy IV, so you can steal his armor and spear. Wow, sinister. Alright. Dan, because he would be dead and then you would have two breakfasts. Oh. I mean, it does say eat your breakfast with you. So it would be your breakfast actually that would get eaten. Or Onion Knight from Final Fantasy III because the class is awesome. Nice. This is really awkward with those breath wings. Thank you for letting me run. I'm pretty sure people heard that one too. Have a scream +1 indeed. Holy buckets. Yeah. They were both poisoned. You spent the last few years building up an immunity to iocane powder. Wow. That seems a lot of like a lot of effort sign up on. Oh my goodness. We haven't gotten any of these kinds of back attacks before, and now it's 3 in a row. This is really uncomfortable. Thank you for running. It's all the bad RNG adding up over time. Maybe. Okay, what level are we? 54? One more level. Which is about 12 fights, and then we should be done. Actually, it's probably more like 13 or 14. Seriously. To be fair, these back attacks are fine, because we just one-shot it after one turn. And it seems like Dragon Avis in their first turn have a chance of doing nothing, breathing or physically attacking. Both physical attack and breathing doesn't doing nothing does basically nothing. That meant there's 2 Avis. And the physical attack twice is a bit of a problem. So weird that the number of the button ninjas just goes, well, over the menu at the bottom. We're almost done with the grind, so that's nice. Then we still need to get lucky enough to survive a few grand crosses. Like 1 or 2 more battles, I guess? I didn't keep track. It's a few more. About 5 if we get double enemies every time. Those are 4,040 experience. I'm not sure about the 2 ninjas. Interesting thing is, leveling something like a black mage is gonna be so much easier because you can just area of effect everything. Like you literally did along the way. Because why not? By the way, this cloud at the bottom there is kind of cut off. A bit weird. Oh, that's not nice. At least they don't use breath wing, so that's a plus. Also, I think they are easier to run away from than the Dragon Avis. But that also makes it slightly nicer. Bless you. Oh, that's not real good. That's not good at all. Okay. Makes it really difficult for us in the last stretch here. Like 2 or 3 more fights, probably more like 3. Okay, that guy is really dead. 3 attacks are enough to kill him, but the 4th one had to land on him as well. Really doesn't matter because it's the same amount of attacks regardless, as long as we don't perfectly distribute 2 and 2 attacks on both enemies and then just go for all of 1, it's mostly going to be 1 round. Yeah, it's 1 more fight. Almost done here finally. Also, I just saw that. Ultras because seafood soup is part of a traditional Japanese breakfast already. I guess. Ultras is a very character. But it did say that you need to eat with the character, not eat the character. Don't do it. Alright. This is the scary encounter, basically, with the little Iron Claw enemies loving to use Death Claw. Are they called Iron Claw? I think they are called Death Claws, actually, in this. Iron Claw is the mini-boss earlier. Way earlier than Karnak. Eat with a cactus or Edward because he's already spoony? I don't think it's taken to be quite that literal, to be honest. But I like it. I like it a lot, actually. Wow. Mint chocolate, broccoli, and pineapple pizza. You know, broccoli and pineapple sounds fine, but then you have mint chocolate on there too. That's a bit messed up. Pineapple doesn't belong on any pizza with mint, chocolate, and broccoli. Yeah, pineapple by itself is fine. I also really like pineapple on pizza, personally. I can see broccoli working on pizza. That's okay. But mint chocolate? No. I like Pizza Hawaii. I'm not sure why it's called Pizza Hawaii, but I like it. Hey Looney Cloud, welcome. How are you doing? You live in Hawaii. There's a business here called Pizza Hawaii. Do they sell pineapples on pizza? It's not at all with pineapple. Fair enough. No, it's just kind of... In Switzerland, at least where I come from, you call it Pizza Hawaii when it has pineapple on it. And it's my favorite pizza. What can I say? Really tasty. Actually, not necessarily true that it's my favorite pizza. There is a pizza that I like more, but it's kind of a local pizza of specifically that one little shop. Alrighty, so finally, up to Dark Armor, Dark Hood, Yoichi Bow, go to the back row. Let's go! What is it? Hey Zoltana, welcome! Hope you're doing well. It's about pizza, and why Pizza Hawaii is called Pizza Hawaii, I guess. It's also called Hawaiian pizza here, apparently. Hawaiian pizza is supposedly from Canada of all places. They just called it that to make it sound fancy. Yeah, that makes sense to me. Alrighty, our attempt number 2 at X-Death. So, once again, after we deal about 19,000 damage, this was 6,000 just now, we will push him into phase 2, where his very first attack will be of him to use Lair or Holy 2 out of 3 times. Okay, actually I was only 5,000, now we've got 9,000 damage. Okay, the plus 6 is about 15,000. I could push him into the next phase right here, possibly. Okay, we pushed him into the next phase, so he's in phase 2 now. The reason why I sit in the back row is because he does so much damage with his physical attacks. Although, to be fair, I plan on using an elixir anyways before the flare or holy hits. And this is the reason why we went up to level 55, by the way, because just having the 2 and 3 chances to straight up die because I don't have enough maximum HP was not terribly appealing to me, so I decided to level instead. Yeah, some pizza pasta on your fridge. Nice. And here we're dead. So, this is White Hole. White Hole is instant death and petrification. If you are immune against... Oops, wrong way. There we go. If you are immune against either instant death or petrification, you will completely circumvent... I'm gonna go in the chicken knife in the front row, actually. You will completely circumvent White Hole being an issue at all. We can technically become immune to White Hole by equipping... That's just annoying. We can technically become immune to White Hole by equipping the Bone Mail, but if we have the Bone Mail equipped, we can no longer heal ourselves, and healing is gonna be really important. Plus, we will take double damage from Holy, and the Almagest attack in phase 2 is indeed Holy. So we would take a crazy amount of damage from that. You just realized X fighting X death, indeed. Pineapple is great with Canadian bacon. What is Canadian bacon? How is it different from, I guess, other bacon? Yep. Okay. I probably will prefer Canadian bacon over regular bacon over here. Alright, that is 10,000 damage each X fight, so we actually push him into phase 2 in just 2 attacks. Plus we are a lot faster thanks to having +5 agility. I'm gonna reset if that hits Artemis. Okay, didn't hit Artemis. Because I'm not supposed to have another character in combat here. You like bacon? I mean, that's fair. It smells really good. Yeah, that is 30,000 damage right here. He has 49,000, so 2 more attacks and he's dead. So the question is, if I go into the... I'm actually going back row right now. I think he skipped his turn. Oh, that's not enough damage. I need to switch to the Yoichi bow. Right, I think we are gonna go into phase 2 right here then. I find the Yoichi bow. Here it is. I've switched weapons around so much that it's actually kind of awkward. Oh, there we go. This will push him into phase 2 already, I think. Once he drops below 10,000 HP, by the way, which he was just now, he will have a 1 in 3 chance to use Meteor, which will kill me. Ham. Canadian bacon is just ham. Alright, fair enough. So the reason why I want to be in the back row is because Neo X Death consists of 4 separate parts. The far left part has 60,000 HP, but it is not heavy, which means the third charge of the magic lamp will instantly kill it, so we don't have to worry about it. It would normally be the magic casting spell part that deals Ice 3, Fire 3, and also Delta attack, which petrifies, and we have no immunity against that. So it would be really bad if we were to reach that alive. So the first order of operation is always to kill that thing. Then next up, there is the top right part, which has 50,000 HP. It's the part that exclusively attacks with physical attacks. It either uses physical attack or vacuum wave, and sometimes it uses dispel that would remove any buffs. We don't have any buffs, so dispel would just be a free turn for us. Then we have the bottom right portion that casts Almagest. Almagest is a really strong holy based attack that deals about 1,400 to 1,600 damage. But he does that only after announcing, so every so often, so to speak. I'm gonna equip the Guardian Dagger while using the Magic Lamp here. So we have a 1 in 4 chance to block physical attacks. The armor chest is really strong, but because we are relatively high level, it's not that big of a deal. Although we still can easily die to an armor chest plus a added physical attack on top of it, so that is still going to be a concern. I'm going to use a chicken knife when I'm using elixir, just so I'm faster, because I will get a turn before the physical part gets one. So he's shaking like this announces the presence of an armor chest. Before I go to anything else, I will use aim on the physical part here. Because he is susceptible to getting blinded, so I'm just actually hitting him like 2 or 3 times. There we go, that's armor chest. And if he uses a vacuum wave with his physical part, we would die at the same time if it hits as armor chest. The thing is, it does not usually line up that badly. But if it does, it would be a problem. This is why I want to blind the physical portion of him. Which, he might just get lucky that he gets the 1 in 3 chance every time. Or 1 in 4 chance every time to actually hit me, but... wow. Getting really unlucky here with the blind proc. And here we have Grand Cross. Grand Cross inflicts one of 22 different possible status effects. And among those status effects is Petrification, Instant Death and Zombie, which are literally just instant death. Also really, really bad is... okay, he's blinded now. I'm blinded now too, for that matter. Which is actually a problem. Confusion is also really bad, but not a death sentence, so we luckily survived it. But basically all possible status effects can occur here. So, and what I want to do now is I actually need to keep track of how much HP each one of the parts have. Because you want to kill the remaining parts, or the remaining 2 parts you could say, after you kill off another one, at the same time. Because if you don't... actually, I want the chicken knife just so I'm faster for now, while using the eye drops, so I can actually use aim again. If you don't kill the last parts more or less at the same time, they go into a frenzy and cast Comages instantly, Meteor, and also Vacuum Wave all the time. All of those are really, really not good if you get hit by them. It's possible to survive it, but it's just better to kill the last 2 remaining parts at the same time. So... armor chest part we leave alive for now because it's very predictable in how much damage it does, and it's not too bad. It's either I'm gonna need to kill the physical part or I need to kill the magical part, however. Not sure which one I'm going to go for. Didn't I make a calculator for... I guess I didn't, huh. I'm pretty sure I did make a calculator for other classes in my little note thingy to make it easier to keep track of the individual parts' HP. I guess I did not do that as the Mystic Knight. Did I do that with the Oracle? I don't think I did with the Oracle. Geomancer? Probably. Let's see. I want to basically write down each number of damage that I deal to each of the parts. And... huh. I thought I made a little calculation help that would assist me in that, but I guess I didn't. So I just have to briefly do this. So, physical part has 50,000 minus the sum of these numbers here. This. I know you can't see anything right now. So, by the way, Grand Cross part is the top left one. It is a dragon, for that matter. And actually the Grand Cross part is a magical beast, if I'm not mistaken. So, alrighty. I dealt about... 4 attacks, which is about 1200 damage to the physical part. Unfortunately, I did not exactly keep track of that. I should have done that. You would kill the Grand Cross part first, I think? Yeah, that's kind of my thought as well. And hey Yusuf, welcome. Doing quite fine. Kill them all first, I guess. Alright. Going for the Grand Cross, 655. Going for the Grand Cross part first. Also I need to adjust the numbers, because it's 55,000 health on those things by default. Okay. I'm actually sitting really awkward right now in order to reach the keyboard. I guess I have an idea on how I can implement my regular keyboard. Give me a second. Excuse me. Because laptop keyboard is not great, and it's a bit far away from me right now as I'm sitting. This might work. Maybe. No guarantee. At least I can reach the numpad easier if I'm sitting like this. Beep-a-da-bim. Okay. So this should be better in theory for me. So, let's continue. Amethyst will hit soon. I haven't kept track of the physical attack. There it is. So Amethyst is not gonna be much of a problem. 1679. Amethyst right there. And we want to heal... Actually, we will survive even a vacuum wave if it hits. So I'm just not gonna heal until we get hit by at least one physical attack. Once again, it's a 1 in 4 chance, because he is blinded for him to hit a physical attack. So we have enough HP to just work with that. 4646. Very nice. One, 633. This spell, I believe that's the physical part that does that. It might be that other parts can do that as well. I'm not sure about this. So once we drop the Grand Cross part below 30,000 HP, it actually resets its AI script. So if we're lucky, we can do that before it gets to unleash another Grand Cross on us. 2 more crits and a regular attack will actually do that for us. So we just need 1 more crit right here. Or 3 regular attacks. The thing is, it will go and cast Grand Cross more frequently once we drop it below 30,000 HP. Okay, I have to... I just reset Grand Cross for that matter. I have to heal now. Because Amethyst will hit. I'm not sure why I'm using High Potion. We have plenty of elixirs, I should just use them. I think that was a mistake. Whew! That's spooky. So this was one of those times where his physical attack aligned with the Grand Cross. And even if it was just a regular hit with the physical, it would have killed me. So there's that. 107. Okay, there's Grand Cross. Actually, I did not reset the AI script, it looks like. Maybe it's a different number than what I remember. I know it's 15,000, but there's 2 different resets. Silence, okay. I'm perfectly fine with silence, because we're not using any spells. But basically the Grand Cross part killing me instantly is the only real danger in this fight. As long as I play the other stuff properly, that is. Three. Touch. I have to survive another physical. As soon as it starts shaking, I have to heal again. Okay, there we go. I'm gonna use a high potion here instead. I should have used the chicken knife too, though. At this point I need the guardian dagger though for a potential block of the physical attack. Ooh, okay. That's... What? Oh! Oh, I see what happens. So that second attack was actually by the Grand Cross part, because once it drops below certain HP thresholds, it has a pretty slight chance to, not that frequently, once in a while, just attack with various things. But that's a 4. So we just pushed Grand Cross part below 15,000 HP, and it can use Meteor, so I want to kill it off as quick as possible, preferably. It can use a Meteor in this. Okay. 2 more crits would kill the Grand Cross part, that would be great, please. Nope. Alright. Grand Cross, let's see, number 3. I think we are silenced again. I'm pretty happy with this. 1 more crit and regular attack would do the trick. We need like 2 more regular attacks. Yeah, we have to... We don't have to heal actually, the physical attack just hit. Okay, Grand Cross part there. That's the big deal. Using Guardian Dagger, I'm gonna use a potion here to heal up. Oh, that's not good. Ooh. Alright, you're still fine. We're okay. You're fine. Alrighty. Now. Use X-Fight. So the problem about using X-Fight is this random targeting, and there is 2 dummy parts that we really don't want to hit. So basically, that was not a good attack. I'm just gonna start attacking the physical part here. With aim, probably. I mean, on average, X-Fight is still better because it does ignore defense. Even though we really get unlucky with it targeting the dummy parts. Stop it, Fairies. Seriously. Fairies? You can't be serious. Come on. Hello! There's other parts too. This is silly. There we go. Are you serious? Okay, we are not gonna use aim anymore. I don't think that's a good idea. I should have probably paid attention. Although we do survive 1 physical vacuum avian, but it's still fine. You're at high enough HP totals. Now we have to heal. A chicken knife just to have a bit more speed. 5 elixirs should be right. Fine, I think. Ouch. Oh. So, the way I'm gonna plan on taking out the remaining portions, by the way, is by using the magic lamp in the end. I'm gonna heal here real quick. Basically, the magic lamp's next attack is gonna be Sildra, which is wind-based damage. I need to remember to equip the wind dagger, and which should be about 1300-ish damage, so we want to push him below 1300 HP, approximately. This should guarantee a survival vacuum wave and an armor adjust. To be fair, I survived it before that too. 679 again. Okay, physical part is dropping below 4646. We are at below 14,000 HP for the physical part. 1656. I kind of hope the Grand Cross part goes faster because we have a bow that targets magical beasts. I think the Grand Cross part is considered a magical beast. So he's below 10,000 now. Ow. I'm just gonna use potions for now. Hardly worried that I would not be able to heal up. We're not having enough elixirs. And yes, Dryzel, so that's the plan. Okay, I survive even the vacuum wave right now. Four, 7, 8, 4. So, one more crit could kill the Almages part at the physical part, so let's not attack with that anymore. It should be Artemis bow. Because it always crits 4, 5, 20. I need to go correct part. 4, 5, 20. Okay, now we heal. How many elixirs left? 3. What? Oh, the Yoichibo is the one that is done there. I don't think I'm gonna use the Yoichibo anymore. So yeah, crits. Do crits actually ignore defense in this game? I don't even know. $4,440. That's the high. I want to recognize the highest number that we see. 4440. Because I want to get to a really low HP amount without actually killing the parts. So far we've only seen 2 different numbers. We are at 28,000. 4560, that's the highest number so far, 4560. Okay. Like before, we do survive one physical attack and then just use an elixir. This is way faster than the physical portion. 0. This is not going to quite work out, unfortunately. We deal just a little bit too much damage, ironically enough, in order for this to be... Hang on, is that the correct number? No, there's a 0 missing. In order for this to work out in the end. 0. Few more attacks and we're actually in a pretty good shape there, never mind. We might be really good on the amount of damage on the Almages part. Ouch. Big knife for speed, elixir. Okay, one more Artemis bow attack on the Almages part will do the trick. Actually, I mean... It will push it to a low enough HP total. Hopefully I didn't mistype. Okay. So it has 1120 HP left on the Almages part. Let's attack the physical part here. With this bow. 1608. Does the Artemis bow have an inherent chance to crit? Because one more attack like this would be perfect. No, it's just for beast. Alrighty, we are at 796 HP approximately. But the physical part, I'm not entirely sure entirely. Purely because I didn't keep exact count of it. But this should be approximately how it is. Okay, this should be the final attack here. We switch to the air lance, because the next attack from the magic lamp will be wind-based, and this increases the wind damage by 50%. This should kill both of them. Hopefully. Boom, we win. Time for X-Fight. No, that would be silly. We've seen what X-Fight does in this fight. Doesn't do anything, it seems. Alrighty. Even though we had to grind up in order to survive Flare and Holy, this was overall a very dominant performance of a solo character. Hunter is crazy good against single targets. Like really crazy good. And it just so happens that the final boss was not a single target, so it made it a little bit more awkward. We did level up a lot in World 1, up to level 47, in order to hopefully have a shot at defeating Atmos straight up as a solo character, without having to level to the 60s or 70s. But unfortunately, the damage was not quite up there. We have a lot of damage, very reliable damage, but it's still not quite as much as single target mages. But it also doesn't cost any MP. Now do it with animal calls. No. I don't think so. To be fair, I did say we should actually see the unicorn sometime. So what I'm gonna do is I will just let the credits play out. I need some food, so I'm gonna go and procure that. If you guys would like to vote on the next job that we're gonna be playing, which I'm not entirely sure when we're gonna be playing that next, because next after this is gonna be my casual game, which is gonna be probably Chrono Trigger. At least that's in the straw poll right now. Feel free to vote on the straw poll here, and we will lock that in as soon as we see the end on the screen here. So for the straw poll on which casual game I should play, feel free to vote on the straw poll that I'm posting in chat right now. It's either going to be Chrono Trigger or Super Mario RPG. I will be playing both. Just it determines which I'm playing first. You wanted to practice today, but you got stuck on this stream. Aw. Good luck on your practice. Alrighty. We are back, and enjoy the ending. Hello, I'm back. I have sandwiches. How are you guys doing? Oh, Unicorn requires at least level 60. I thought it was level 50. That's a bit of a steep investment for that. I did not even hear that because I didn't have my headphones on. Sinathon, thank you! Sinathon, thank you so much for the 500 bits. Really appreciate those. And you just ordered your pizza. Nice. Enjoy your pizza. What is on it, if I may ask? And hey, greetings to you, Ether Hunter. I guess it has been a while. How are you doing? Good morning, good evening, and good afternoon. How are you doing? In the meantime, let's actually go ahead and just kind of analyze the final section of our run here. So we had a time of 20 hours, 48 minutes and some seconds. I accidentally unstopped the timer, I guess. So let's just go with 20, 48 and 00. Final level we had was actually level 55, which I guess is comparatively low for melee characters that do not have a way around the Holian Flare. It's definitely a really, really fast run compared to, well, not really, really fast, but it's pretty fast overall. So, and let's actually go through the stuff that I may or may not remember about this run here. So, we had 2 random deaths, which actually we had 0 before I restarted, or well, started playing again after my 3-week hiatus. So those were mostly just random encounter deaths that were just cheap, and nothing too bad. Caraboss, we had 3 deaths, which animals carried us pretty hard there, I remember. That's not too bad. Siren, no deaths. Magician Force apparently had 3 deaths, which just kind of, in the early stages of the game, we relied on a lot of animals overall. Liquid Flame, I think I got pretty unlucky with certain moves. I actually don't remember what exactly this was. But Ifrit can just straight up kill you, that is just how it is. And for the most part we didn't seem to have any other problem, because after Biblos, or 4 Biblos, and starting here is where we started finally having some bows that we could use. And also, Soul Cannon, we had 4 deaths. That is when I tried to see whether whether we can do this without an Angel Ring, but we just pretty much needed an Angel Ring. Or was it actually with an Angel Ring and I just tried to brute force it without killing the launchers? That probably makes more sense. Arceus, no deaths, because at Arceus we actually decided, you know what? I want to get X-Fight anyways, so I decided to just grind out enough ability points, because I realized I will need to have it for a upcoming encounter against Purobolos anyways. And once we had X-Fight, Gilgamesh Galuf was kind of the only real thing that gave us any deaths. We had 3 deaths on Gilgamesh on the ship. That's wrong. We had 3 deaths on Atmos. We had no deaths on Gilgamesh on the ship. And Atmos, the 3 deaths were just attempts to see whether it would be reasonable to kill them, or kill it without allied characters, but we only had 10,000 out of 20,000 damage required. It would have required us to level up to level 60 or 70. Or just get ridiculously more lucky for that matter. So I decided to just kill off 1 character after the battle started eventually, which made it super simple. X-Death. Okay, Gilgamesh had X-Death, we had 0 death. X-Death 1, we had 2 deaths. Why is the entire column shifted by 1? It feels like... Either way, we had 2 deaths, those were both to Condemn at the start, and as soon as he didn't use Condemn, we had enough damage with X-Fight to just straight up demolish him. And from there, we had no deaths until we arrived at Tritanya, where I just relied on the Assassin Dagger to get the quick kill. That was before I realized I needed to have about 3000 HP anyways, which would be sufficient to survive the Giga Flare. So next time I will hopefully remember that whether I can or cannot avoid the Holy or Flare attack from the final boss, and know whether I need about 3000 HP or not. So there's that. Only 2 deaths on 3x death. So that went pretty well overall. So with this, we have completed our Hunter. And I will just set this up here. Move our little Hunter right there. Unfortunately, there is no collection link because I haven't highlighted it yet, because it literally just was done today. So I need to recolor this real quick because there's no link yet. And for our challenge number 12, we haven't decided yet, so we are waiting on the straw poll here. Which one is it going to be? Currently we have a head-and-head race, it looks like, between Summoner and Beastmaster, but maybe something else might also win eventually. My personal preference would be doing Mime sometime soon-ish. Just so it's out of the way, to be completely honest, because Mime is going to be basically a weak version of the Freelancer. So it's gonna be interesting, I guess. Not like Mime is without merit. It does have a very slight merit, but it's a very small one. Put it that way. Either way, let's see what it will be once we hit the end here. Animals is such an interesting skill. And yeah, it's not particularly strong, but it's really interesting. I agree with this. Oh my god, that was so weak it didn't even make it the list. I mean, he could have attacked me while I was running past it. I managed to sneak past without getting hit though, so it was simple enough. That was 919,000 experience. What killed me the most? Let's see. What killed me the most? 3, 4. Soul Cannon with 4 deaths was the biggest killer. Then we have Carbos, Magis and Forza, Ifrit, Gilgamesh at Galuf, Atmos, Crystal Guardians. Wait, I didn't die at Crystal Guardians. No. That doesn't seem right. It's probably actually Atmos. Maybe? I don't know, this does not seem right. I did not die to Crystal Guardians, did I? I finished them first try. Where are those 3 deaths then? I misattributed some deaths. Did any other character reach this level or more? Yes, actually. So let's see. The final level for our Hunter was level 55, which is actually in the lower region of melee characters, aside from Mystic Knight. Mystic Knight was level 49, but Oracle was 64, Geomancer was 73, Time Mage was 49, but because it's a mage and they could use Shell, it didn't have that problem of having to have enough HP there. Necromancer was 54 because we needed to level up really high just to defeat certain enemies, and we just took Atmos with us too. Chemist, of course, is really low as alongside Blue Mage because those are just the crazy classes that can do everything. Dancer was only 57. How did I defeat X-Death? Because Dancer has really low vitality. Did I just rely on him not using... I must have relied on him just straight up not using the... Holy or Flare. Because that's not enough HP for a Dancer. But to be fair, Dancer can deal crazy damage in the end game. Oh well. Dragoon was only 46, but could also jump over stuff. White Mage was 65, because that's pretty much what you needed for Atmos. Alrighty, and the end has arrived. And with this... I accidentally activated the splits again, I guess. That's pretty annoying. And let's see, which job is it going to be? And with just barely 1 vote higher, the Summoner is going to be our next job class that we will be using for our challenge. So it will be number 12, Summoner. And let me tell you, Summoner is crazy strong after we get past Carl Boss. Before that, oh boy. Before that, our Summoner will have some trouble, because Summoner is literally the weakest class in terms of strength value. We need to level up to level 14 or something of that equivalent, maybe in 15, in order to have a good shot at defeating Carbos. And if we get past Carbos easily, or without too many deaths, this might be a contender for the least amount of deaths alongside the Blue Mage in the end. Which Blue Mage is currently the lowest death count with... 41 it looks like. Actually, that's not true. Was it? Oh, it is. 41. So yeah, that will be a thing. Okay. That was Final Fantasy V, The Hunter. Thank you very much for watching, for listening, and for lurking, and we will continue with our next program very soon.